Now here comes the moment everyone waits for, the current market value. Your 1,944 wheat penny, with no mint mark, black spots, beautiful appearance, and fine condition, currently carries a market value of approximately $6 to $9,000 in today's collector market. And according to active collector demand, this price continues showing upward movement as wheat penny popularity grows across the United States. That may sound small to some people at first, but experienced collectors understand the bigger picture. Coins like this are no longer just pocket change. They are historic American artifacts, tiny metal treasures surviving from the 1,940 cess. And when demand increases year after year, even modest value wheat pennies can become extremely important collector targets in the future. This is exactly why smart collectors never ignore old Lincoln wheat cents anymore. The most exciting part is that many people still own these coins without realizing collectors are actively hunting them. Some sit forgotten inside old family boxes. Some remain hidden inside inherited jars. Others still appear in circulation by complete accident. Imagine the shock of discovering one of these historic wheat pennies hiding among ordinary modern coins. That thrill is exactly what keeps millions of Americans addicted to coin collecting today. And let me tell you something very important. The market for rare and vintage American coins is changing rapidly. Collector interest is becoming stronger every year. Wheat pennies especially continue attracting huge emotional demand because they represent classic Americana, wartime history, and old-school U.S. craftsmanship that modern coins simply cannot replace. Many collectors believe the best days for these coins are still ahead. So if you own a 1,944 wheat penny, never rush to clean it, polish it, or damage its original surfaces. Experienced collectors often prefer coins with natural aging and authentic historical appearance. Keep it protected. Store it safely. Study every detail carefully under bright light. Check the lettering, edges, wheat lines, and overall texture because small differences can dramatically affect collector demand over time. And always remember this: hidden treasure does not always look glamorous. Sometimes America's most fascinating collectibles come disguised as ordinary little pennies carrying decades of untold history. That is exactly why wheat pennies continue creating excitement across the collector world today. If this discovery shocked you, stay right here on CoinShock, because the next coin on today's list becomes even more unbelievable. And trust me, what's coming next could completely change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Next up, coin number 2. Now, coin number 2 takes us deeper into the world of hidden American treasure. And this next wheat penny is exactly the type of coin quietly exploding in collector demand while most people still have absolutely no idea what they are holding. This is the legendary 1956D wheat penny with black spots, fine conditioned surfaces, and powerful vintage character. A coin that continues creating excitement among collectors searching for authentic, old American cents with real historical energy. The moment serious coin hunters see a wheat penny carrying that famous D mint mark under the date, attention immediately starts building. Because that tiny little letter represents something incredibly important in United States coin history. It tells collectors this coin was struck at the historic Denver Mint, one of the most legendary coin-producing facilities in America. And whenever Denver Mint wheat pennies survive for decades with original vintage appearance and natural aging, collectors begin paying very close attention. At first glance, many ordinary people would completely overlook this coin. They would see dark spots, aged surfaces, old copper color, and signs of circulation. But experienced collectors see something entirely different. They see authenticity. They see survival. They see a true piece of American history that has traveled through generations, economic changes, family collections, and decades of circulation without disappearing forever. That emotional connection is exactly why wheat pennies continue shocking the collector market year after year. The 1956D wheat penny belongs to the final legendary era of the Lincoln wheat cent design. By the late 1950s, America was changing rapidly. New industries were rising. The post-war economy was booming. Families across the country carried these pennies daily in pockets, cash registers, and glass jars without imagining they would someday become collectible treasures hunted nationwide. But today, collectors are looking back at these coins with completely different eyes. And here's what makes this specific coin especially fascinating. The black spots and fine condition surfaces create a vintage personality collectors absolutely love. In the coin world, original appearance matters enormously. Coins that still show natural aging often feel more historic and more emotionally powerful than heavily cleaned examples. Those dark spots tell a story. They represent decades of survival. They show the coin lived a real life in American circulation instead of sitting untouched inside modern plastic cases. When you hold a 1956D wheat penny in your hand, you are holding a genuine piece of mid-century America. The coin's bronze composition, its classic wheat stalk design, and Abraham Lincoln's portrait combine into one of the most iconic coin designs ever created by the United States Mint. Collectors continue returning to wheat pennies because these coins carry a timeless feeling that newer coins simply cannot reproduce. Now let's talk about why the Denver Mint matters so much to collectors. During the wheat penny years, coins struck in Denver often developed unique strike characteristics and preservation patterns that collectors study carefully today. The D mint mark immediately separates this coin from Philadelphia issues and gives it its own identity in the collector world. Even tiny differences in mint marks can create huge excitement among dedicated Lincoln cent collectors. And something incredible is happening right now across America. More people than ever are becoming fascinated by vintage coins. Social media, coin auctions, treasure hunting videos, and collector communities are all driving massive interest into wheat pennies again. Millions of Americans are suddenly searching through old jars and inherited collections hoping to uncover forgotten treasures from the wheat cent era. And coins exactly like this 1956D penny are becoming major attention magnets because they are affordable, historic, and increasingly difficult to find with authentic vintage character. Collectors especially love examples that still maintain visible wheat lines on the reverse, readable lettering, strong date details, and original surfaces. Your described coin checks many of those exciting boxes. Fine condition examples with attractive aging continue attracting steady collector attention because they represent genuine history without losing their classic visual appeal. Now here comes the moment that sends excitement through every coin collector watching this video. Your 1956D wheat penny with black spots and fine condition currently carries a market value of approximately $19, $3,100 in today's active collector market. And according to growing collector interest, the demand surrounding vintage wheat pennies continues strengthening as more people enter the coin collecting hobby across the United States. And let me tell you something important. Collectors do not simply look at this coin as old money. They see it as a surviving American artifact from a completely different era. Every scratch, every dark tone, every detail on the surface represents history that can never be recreated again. That emotional value is one reason the wheat penny market remains so powerful even today. Right now, many long-time collectors believe authentic wheat pennies are becoming harder to locate because fewer original examples remain available in circulation. People are storing them away. Families are keeping them. Treasure hunters are searching harder than ever. And whenever demand rises while surviving examples slowly disappear, collector excitement naturally grows stronger. This is exactly why smart collectors always tell beginners one important thing: never underestimate a wheat penny. Even coins that appear ordinary at first glance can become highly desirable because of their date, mint mark, condition, originality, and growing market demand. Sometimes, the smallest details create the biggest surprises in coin collecting. And honestly, that's what makes this hobby so addictive across America. The possibility that hidden treasure may already be sitting inside your own home. Imagine discovering a forgotten roll of old wheat pennies passed down through generations. Imagine spotting that tiny D mint mark under the date and realizing collectors everywhere are searching for these historic pieces. That feeling of discovery creates excitement unlike anything else. The 1956D wheat penny also carries a special emotional connection because it represents the final years before the wheat cent design ended forever. In 1959, the reverse changed completely to the Lincoln Memorial design. That means every wheat penny from the 1950s belongs to the closing chapter of one of America's most beloved coin series. Collectors know that history can never repeat itself, and that final era connection adds even more attraction to these coins. If you own one of these wheat pennies, protect it carefully. Never harshly clean it. Never scrub away the original surfaces trying to make it shiny. In the collector world, originality matters more than artificial brightness. Those natural dark spots and aged textures can actually increase the coin's historical appeal because they prove the coin lived through decades of real circulation. And the truth is, the market for classic American coins continues evolving rapidly. Collector communities are growing larger. Online auctions are becoming more competitive. Rare and vintage US coins are receiving stronger national attention than ever before. That is exactly why so many collectors believe the future remains extremely bright for historic wheat pennies like this one. The excitement surrounding these coins is not slowing down. In fact, many collectors believe we are only beginning to see how strong wheat penny demand could become in the years ahead. As more people rediscover the beauty of vintage American coinage, authentic survivors from the wheat cent era may become even more treasured nationwide. So before you ignore another old penny, check carefully. Look for dates. Look for mint marks. Study the surfaces closely. Because hidden among ordinary pocket change could be a genuine American treasure carrying collector demand far beyond what most people ever imagine. And trust me, coin number 3 coming up next becomes even more unbelievable. The next discovery on today's CoinShock countdown is the kind of coin that stops collectors in their tracks the moment they see it. Stay with us. The treasure hunt is only getting started. Next up, coin number 3. And now, we arrive at coin number 3, the wheat penny that many collectors quietly describe as one of the most exciting hidden survivors from the final golden years of the legendary Lincoln wheat cent era. The moment serious collectors spot this date combined with the famous Denver mint mark, attention instantly explodes. Because this is the powerful 1957D wheat penny with brown spots, old look condition, and authentic vintage surfaces. A coin that continues building stronger collector demand across America every single year. This is exactly the kind of coin that creates emotional excitement in the rare coin world because it looks like real history. Not polished, not artificially bright, not modern. This penny carries the aged personality of a true survivor from America's past. And believe it or not, collectors absolutely love that authentic appearance. The first thing that makes this coin special is its timing in American history. The year 1957 sat at the edge of a major transition in United States coinage. America was booming with energy. Classic cars filled the streets. Families carried pocket change daily without realizing they were holding future collectibles. Television was spreading nationwide. Industry was exploding. But at the same time, the legendary Wheat Penny design was approaching its final days forever. That means every late 1950s Wheat Penny carries extra emotional importance to collectors today. These coins represent the closing chapter of one of the most iconic coin designs ever created in U.S. history. Just 2 years later, the wheat reverse would disappear forever and the Lincoln Memorial design would replace it. Because of that, collectors now look back at 1957 Wheat Pennies with growing fascination and respect. Now let's talk about the D mint mark, because this tiny little letter changes everything in the collector world. The D means this coin was struck at the historic Denver Mint, a facility famous for producing billions of American coins that traveled across the country through everyday circulation. Denver Mint Wheat Pennies often developed their own striking styles, tones, and preservation characteristics, making them highly interesting to dedicated Lincoln cent collectors. But what truly makes your described coins stand out is the old look condition combined with natural brown spotting and authentic circulation personality. This is where collector psychology becomes extremely important. Many beginners think shiny means valuable, but experienced collectors understand something much deeper. Originality matters. History matters. Real vintage character matters. When a wheat penny survives with naturally aged copper surfaces, visible wear from decades of circulation, an honest old-world appearance, collectors feel emotionally connected to it. They imagine the journey this coin traveled through American history. They imagine it passing through stores, diners, factories, family homes, and old cash registers during one of the most unforgettable periods in the nation's past. That emotional storytelling is exactly why wheat pennies continue exploding in collector popularity nationwide. And this 1957D issue carries another powerful advantage. The Wheat Penny series itself has become one of the most beloved entry points into American coin collecting. Millions of collectors started their treasure hunting journey with Lincoln wheat cents. Some discovered them inside inherited jars. Others found them in pocket change decades ago. That nostalgic connection continues driving huge emotional demand for these coins today. Now imagine the excitement of opening an old collection and spotting that famous wheat reverse design staring back at you. 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent. Abraham Lincoln's classic portrait on the front. The small but powerful D mint mark under the date. Suddenly, what looked like an ordinary penny transforms into a genuine piece of collectible Americana. And let me tell you something even more exciting. More people across the United States are now searching for wheat pennies than ever before. Coin roll hunters are checking bank boxes daily. Treasure hunters are searching estate sales. Families are rediscovering old jars hidden away for decades. The demand for vintage U.S. coinage is growing rapidly because Americans are realizing these historic coins are slowly disappearing forever. That's why authentic old-look examples like your 1957D Wheat Penny are attracting serious attention. Collectors appreciate coins that still look untouched by modern alterations. The brown spots, aged tones, and circulated appearance all contribute to that powerful vintage feeling collectors crave. And the composition of the coin itself makes the story even stronger. This wheat penny was struck primarily from bronze, containing copper mixed with zinc and tin. That warm copper metal composition gives the coin its unmistakable classic appearance. When you hold it in your hand, you are touching a real piece of mid-century American craftsmanship, something impossible to recreate today. Now here comes the moment every collector waits for: the current market value. Your 1957D Wheat Penny with brown spots and old-look condition currently carries a market value of approximately $72,000 in today's active collector market. And according to ongoing collector demand, many wheat penny enthusiasts believe authentic vintage examples like this are becoming increasingly desirable as interest in classic American coins continues growing nationwide. And this is where the excitement becomes truly powerful. Most people still do not understand how rapidly collector markets can change. Coins that once sat forgotten inside ordinary jars are suddenly receiving national attention. Collectors everywhere are realizing that vintage wheat pennies are not just old coins anymore. They are surviving treasures from a completely different America. That is exactly why experienced collectors never ignore old Lincoln cents. Because one small detail can completely transform a coin's collector demand. A mint mark, a rare condition, original surfaces, vintage color tones, historic timing. All these factors combine into one emotionally powerful, collectible story. And the truth is, coins like this create a feeling modern money can never reproduce. Holding a wheat penny from 1957 feels like touching living history. It connects collectors to old America, to family memories, to classic pocket change, and to the thrill of treasure hunting itself. That emotional power is why collector demand keeps getting stronger every single year. Right now, many collectors believe original wheat pennies are entering a completely new phase of popularity. Younger generations are entering the hobby. Social media is spreading rare coin discoveries nationwide. Videos about hidden coin treasures are attracting millions of viewers. And as more people begin searching for old American coins, authentic survivors like this 1957D Wheat Penny become even more exciting. So if you own one of these coins, protect it carefully. Never destroy the original surfaces trying to make it look brand new. Experienced collectors often prefer naturally aged coins because they preserve real historical character. Study the details closely. Keep it safe. Study the details closely. Look carefully at the wheat stalks, lettering, rim, and mint mark, because every small feature tells part of the story. And remember this: hidden treasure does not always shine brightly at first glance. Sometimes the greatest treasures carry old scars, aged surfaces, and decades of history written directly into the metal itself. That is exactly why wheat pennies continue fascinating collectors. And now, we have reached the final coin on today's unbelievable CoinShock countdown. The wheat penny that has collectors across America watching auctions, checking old collections, and searching pocket change with absolute obsession. This is the legendary 1958D Wheat Penny with beautiful look, fine condition, and historic collector energy. A coin that represents the dramatic ending of one of the greatest coin designs in United States history. The moment experienced collectors see a 1958 Wheat Penny, something instantly changes. The excitement becomes real. The emotion becomes powerful. Because this was the final full year of the legendary Lincoln Wheat Cent design before America changed forever. That alone gives this coin enormous historical importance. When you hold a 1958D wheat penny in your hand, you are holding the closing chapter of an American coin legacy that lasted for nearly half a century. And trust me, collectors absolutely love final year coins. There is something emotional and unforgettable about owning one of the very last wheat pennies ever produced by the United States Mint. Millions of Americans carried these coins in their pockets during the late 1950s without realizing they were spending a future collectible treasure connected to the end of an era. Today, collectors look at these coins very differently. They no longer see ordinary pennies. They see surviving historical artifacts from the final moments of classic American coinage. Now let's talk about the famous D mint mark, because this tiny detail instantly adds another layer of excitement to the story. The D stands for the Denver Mint, one of America's most historic coin-producing facilities. Denver Mint wheat pennies became legendary among collectors because many survived with sharp details, beautiful copper surfaces, and strong visual appeal. Whenever a 1958D wheat penny appears with attractive vintage condition and original character, collector attention rises immediately. And your described coin carries exactly the type of appearance collectors love to see. Beautiful look, fine condition, authentic old surfaces. This is the kind of wheat penny that feels alive with history. The warm, aged copper tones, the visible wheat stalks, the classic Lincoln portrait. Together, they create one of the most recognizable and beloved designs in all of American coin collecting. But here is where the suspense becomes truly powerful. Most people have absolutely no idea how important the year 1958 really is in the wheat penny series. Because after this year, the famous wheat ears disappeared forever. In 1959, the reverse design changed completely to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. That means the 1958 wheat penny became the final goodbye to one of the most iconic coin designs America ever created. Collectors understand the emotional weight of that moment. This is why many wheat penny enthusiasts become obsessed with finding strong examples from 1958. It represents history ending right before their eyes. A final surviving connection to old-school American pocket change. A last glimpse into the golden age of Lincoln wheat cents before the design vanished forever. And when a coin carries both historical importance and growing collector demand, excitement starts exploding nationwide. Right now, across the United States, coin collectors are aggressively searching through old jars, estate collections, family boxes, and forgotten penny rolls looking for wheat pennies exactly like this one. Videos about rare Lincoln cents are attracting millions of views online. New collectors are entering the hobby every single day. Demand is growing rapidly because people are realizing these coins are disappearing from circulation forever. And here's the most fascinating part. Coins with beautiful original appearance continue attracting stronger emotional demand than ever before. Collectors want coins that still feel authentic. They want original surfaces, honest aging, and true vintage personality. That's why your described 1958D wheat penny becomes such an exciting collectible story. The composition of the coin also adds incredible historical charm. This wheat penny was struck primarily from bronze, a rich, copper-based alloy that gives the coin its legendary, warm appearance. When collectors hold these coins, they are not simply holding metal. They are holding a physical piece of America's past. A coin that survived through decades of change, movement, and circulation before reaching today's collector market. Now imagine the excitement of discovering this coin hidden inside an old collection. The date catches your eye. The Denver D mint mark appears below the year. The wheat stalks shine with vintage character on the reverse. Suddenly, what once looked like an ordinary old penny transforms into a genuine collector treasure. And now, here comes the moment that sends shockwaves through every viewer watching this countdown. Your 1958D wheat penny with beautiful look and fine condition currently carries a market value of approximately $2.17, $900 in today's active collector market. And according to rising collector demand, many enthusiasts believe final year wheat pennies continue gaining stronger attention as more Americans rediscover the beauty of classic US coinage. That is exactly why collectors never stop searching for these coins. Because coins like this are no longer just spare change from the past. They are symbols of American history, collector passion, and hidden treasure hunting, all combined into one tiny copper masterpiece. And as the collector world grows larger every year, many believe historic wheat pennies may continue becoming even more desirable in the future. The emotional connection surrounding wheat pennies is incredibly powerful. These coins remind people of old America. Simpler times. Family collections passed through generations. Childhood coin jars. Forgotten treasures hidden in attics and drawers for decades. Every wheat penny tells a story, and the 1958D issue tells one of the biggest stories of them all, the final ending of an American coin legend. This is why serious collectors always say one important thing: never underestimate old pennies. Because one small coin can carry enormous historical importance, emotional demand, and collector fascination far beyond what most people imagine. Especially when that coin represents the final year of an iconic design series loved across the nation.